Okay, so this is my second attempt at trying to solo kill a Eidolon. I tried yesterday to kill this thing, and I tried it with Kramer. Wanted to see how it went, and at the time I managed to get down 2 limbs, but I had 1 life remaining, and at that point I was just like, you know, okay, we'll stop for today. I was fairly happy that I took down 2 limbs, so I got my Trinity now. I was thinking about how I would go about capturing an Eidolon, and I figured Trinity would be the best, because when I had Kramer I had issues with healing. Helios Prime was not healing me as often as I'd like. I also didn't bring enough health pads, which was kind of on me, so I bring Trinity. I bring my Azor, my Gust of Wind Dance, and I bring my Sinoid Gamma Core. I think my thought of bringing the Sinoid Gamma Core was kind of like with Banshee, because I'm not really using EV on this Trinity build. This is a full Blessing Trinity build. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be short on energy. Romulus, not really good to use for energy, so I put the Gamma Core on in case I needed a pulse. But the thing is, I never really equipped it anyway, so the Gamma Core was kind of useless. The Gust of Wind Dance, I don't remember the Zor. It is done in like a polearm, and the range on it, even without a range ribbon, is pretty long. Like, it has a ribbon, but it's not range. So here's the Eidolon. He's very big. Last time I also fought the Eidolon, I had issues bringing his shields down. It took way too long. So I started using the alt fire on the Caplac prism. I don't quite remember the name. Caplac. It's like the silverish coloured one on the icon. You should know what I mean. I was using that with a Pencha Scaffold and I don't remember the brace. The Outfire is really good. Like, the Outfire brings down his shields pretty quickly. Like, even when you see here, it goes down pretty fast, so. That was one thing that was really frustrating me about the last time, because the last time I was trying to use a moat amp and it was terrible. So I spent some time yesterday leveling my prisms. Specifically leveling this one. I liked it a lot when I was using it in Arcade. Like, I liked the damage. Also, when I did a Riven and lower that required me to kill Sentients, it managed to 2-shot the Sentients, so I ended up going with this amp. And yeah, he's already, like, his shields are already nearly gone. It's pretty great. So I have Trinity with Blessing. I went with as much duration as I was able to. I also put Intensify and Power Drift on there. I didn't need any range. And Narrow-Minded. Had some Vitality. So yeah, you only have an hour to kill this guy. And it's actually faster and more efficient with a group, but I think, like, there's something really fun about trying to kill it on your own. So if it's not something you've done yet, just definitely have a go at it. So, because the shields are down now, you can only bring down the shields with the operator. You want to switch to your frame. So I set my pads up in such a way that I could press F1 for health pads, F2 for energy, and F3 for ammo. Because even though I have ammo mutation on the Vector's Prime, because of like the scarcity of enemies besides the Romulus, you're not going to get too much ammo. So you want ammo pads. Like, I think next time that I actually do this, I will probably change the ammo mutation for a different mod. Just so I'm getting the benefit of more damage as opposed to a mod that's not really doing anything. So I have to Blessing a lot here, but if there's too many Romulus, they actually do so much damage that the blessing isn't really enough. So I put down some health pads, hoping I'd survive, and trying to keep an eye on my HP as much as I could. So here it triggered, you can't really see it because of the overlay, but my Covet triggered a crit buff. It's an anti-Covet, and it gives a 60% buff to your weapon. It also works for allies too. It's a really, really useful ability. It's also the reason why I didn't use Helios, because Helios would just blow up. Many-Ray actually wasn't that useful, because I need health a bit quicker than what Many-Ray can provide. So I ended up with the Odds Covet. I'm actually using a glitched cat. It's one of the glitched abomination animals from when you could mix Kubro and Covet DNA together. So this Covet's a called baby monster. It's a little black thing. It has no head. And yeah, you can see the orange and red crits sometimes when the buff's active. It's if it wasn't for this, I probably wouldn't have finished killing this in time. So yeah. So I go for its legs first because it has 4 limbs that you have to shoot. You can shoot whatever parts you feel like, but I feel that it's always best to go for the legs, just because if you go for anything else, like the arms, you'll run into a horror issue with some mechanics later on. You'll know what I mean. It's the legs are like the safest to take down, because, and then I just explode there because I missed a blessing. He kills you very easily. Like, for Trinity, if she puts down blessing at any point, she will probably get one shot, and that's pretty much it. The armor also gives us not quite enough to survive some attacks. Like, if there's enough Romulus and if he's doing enough damage, then sometimes you can die, but
remains close by. Where are you?
I mean, I do try and kill the Romulus when I can. Like, I've been killing him constantly here. And this is where the point I'm not quite sure if this is gonna be a good run or not, because I've already spent a good few minutes trying to take him down here. Also switch to my rod, which is not something you should do. For some reason I couldn't like quick select, like press the F key to get my Archwing, but it wasn't a big deal. I was still, as long as I was able to do it with the pads, that was all that really mattered. So I see the Teralyst there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna capture him, so I get some lures. Now, shooting these and hacking them is fine up until the point where I start getting shot out by these turrets repeatedly, and they kind of like push me off of the hack window. It's pretty funny. So these lures are actually kind of helpful. Like, if you capture a Teralyst, you get bonus loot. You get better loot, actually. You want more than one lure. Some people use 2, some people use 4. I just got 4 because that was easier for me, and they could take out more. Because the lures take out the Romulus as well. They actually use the Romulus to charge themselves. So I got another lure here. The only problem with lures though is you can't really farm intacts. Like, while intacts don't make up, like, they're not worth too much, they do make up like the most of your standing, so it's like, it's just one of those situations where you either want the focus or you want the, you either want the focus and the brilliant shot or you want the intacts. So I'm trying to pull these lures over. I go to the next one. For some reason there's a ship here that's like stuck in the ground. I had no idea what was wrong with that, but 3 shots of the Vectis just annihilates it, so it's not a big deal. Like the only like ships I really dislike are the bulk cores. Especially the ones in like higher level bounties that are very hard to one-shot unless you've got like an amazing ribbon and an optical or something. Which is not something I have. You can actually one-shot the limbs of the Eidolon Teralyst if you have like Volt or something. Like maybe you could do this with Volt, but solo. But my big problem with that would be the same with Chroma. He just doesn't have the armor or the survivability that Trinity does. Like Trinity can just constantly heal herself. I went through about 30 heal pads this mission. So here's my 4th lure. It's kind of unfortunate with the lures because later on in this run, they do end up getting stuck on a lake, so I actually run out of time to be able to capture him, so instead I just opt for a kill. Maybe next time I do this, I'll try the capture again. It was just unfortunate. I didn't want to waste any more time grabbing lures because when I checked, I didn't have too much time left to go. So I try looking for this Eidolon again. I like for a moment I actually forgot where it was, and I was like, oh wait a minute, did I go past it? But thanks to the Arc Ring, I was able to figure it out pretty quickly. You can't go too fast ahead of the lures, otherwise they'll just stop. You have to go back and get them. So you can't really use your Arc Wing, and they don't seem to follow your, like if you hack them with your operator, they follow your operator. But if you hack them with your Warframe, they follow your Warframe. So it's like, whenever I went into operator mode, they just wouldn't follow me. So it got tricky when I was trying to bring the shields down on the Teralyst for sure. So we bring the shields down again. He's in a really nice spot here because he can't hit me with his sweeps. I believe, yeah, his stomp could still hit though. Stomp isn't too bad, it's just a big knockback. Even in void mode you have to jump over it, so always try and time it right. But now that one of his legs are down, I don't entirely remember, I'm actually inspecting this video now. I think he leaves like a trail of goop. He leaves a little puddle of goop on the floor and it deals damage. Basically you don't want to be standing near him anyway, but if you, for some reason you were, then yeah, don't stand near him because his like path turns into goop. So baby monster goes down. I revive baby monster because she has my crit buff and I need that. So I resurrect my baby. Kill more Romulus because keeping this bad. I also want to charge these lures as well. So I like the whole time I fight this guy, I'm just using Alt Fire and nothing else on him to strip his shields. I don't know what the normal Alt Fire button, but for me it's currently bound to middle mouse. But at this point he's fairly easy to dodge. Like, I mean, even if your operator dies, you get a little bit of transference static and it's not a huge deal. There is only so many times you can trigger transference static, and then you just can't go into your operator mode for a while. But I do try and make sure that I last as long as I can, when I can. Sometimes when there's a lot of Romulus, it's just very hard to deal with that, and you also got to deal with all the tells of the Eidolon Teralyst as well. So yeah. Plenty of plenty of Romulus. There's like always a ton. And you can see on the floor there's the goop. So yeah, already his shields have been stripped. I'm pretty sure like I die again here at some point. Like his legs are very hard to hit. Like I used to always hit his arms because they were just easier to, in general to hit. But yeah, his like shots aren't that painful. It's more like his like AoE burst. It's like homing burst. The little lasers is more dangerous and hurts way more. I also got stuck under an Eidolon lure. The Eidolon lure's got in the way a lot of my shots. You'll probably see this here soon. I'm shooting the Romulus into their ghost form, so they don't try and regen shields or anything. But he keeps calling them, which gets a little bit infuriating. And then I realized that it's probably better to take these things out because there's a lot of them now. They can still do a charge attack and they can still hurt, so I think for the Corvette you don't need to mod it with much. I mean, you can put damage on it if you like, but it's not really there to do damage, it's there to just buff you, so you can put stuff like health link on it, whatever you feel like. And this is one of the points where he starts getting his shields back. This happens quite a lot during this fight, and there's not really much you can do about it when it happens. Sometimes it can happen as soon as you destroy his shields. Sometimes it can happen if you take a bit longer than you mean to. But yeah, I've seen it happen as soon as I brought his shields down before, so I think it's just random when he decides to do it. Probably more likely when there's like more Romulus around him, so I just try and kill them as much as I can. So I get his shields down again, not too big of a deal. And then you can see the lures getting in the way here, and it's pretty infuriating. Like, it's hard enough trying to shoot his legs or his kneecaps, but to have things like the little lures keep popping in the way is interesting. Like, to my credit, I should have probably like went to the other side of his body. I think that's what I decided to do. Like, I think I just give up at this angle because there's like so many of them, and yeah, I get kind of nuked. I don't remember it. I don't remember if blasting was up at the time, but it might have been down. But you can see how much damage it deals there. It deals so much if you don't have blasting up. You'll just die. So lives right now is about 2 down, but we've only got like 1 limb destroyed. So that's kind of bad. It's actually pretty terrible. Definitely not something you want at all. You can see that I nearly die there again, so I'm like, oh shit, I better switch to operator mode before I actually get nuked. So I do that, try and survive a bit, get blasting up, get rid of more Romulus, because I realized that they're hurting Trinity pretty bad. And this is where I realized my lures are stuck. So I'm like, all my lures are stuck here. There's absolutely nothing I can do. They won't follow me or anything. And I'm realizing at this point there's probably no point in trying to get more, because he's already doing his like shield regain thing, and at this point I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not gonna finish beating this guy in one night again. The last time I fought him, I only got down 2 limbs, and then it was daytime. So I get really annoyed by this. There's so many Romulus. You can kill them, you can like keep killing them, but he'll keep bringing back more. But if you don't keep killing them, then he'll regen his shields, like you can see there. He always gets a little bit back, no matter how long you leave that for. if you leave it for long enough, he'll get all his shields back. So generally, you just want to do it as fast as possible. Yeah, I go back here again. I realized that okay, it's not gonna work how I want, so I just give up and I pick up some sentient cores, and I'm like, okay, let's try this again. I'm also trying to line up the blast of the blasting the Romulus in the radius of where the Teralyst is, so I can hit the Teralyst and kill the Romulus at the same time. But some of them just weren't really interested in walking in front of him, so I had to kill them separately. Also, mistakes like that can happen. Getting hit by the Stomp does happen sometimes. I mean, it doesn't hurt that much, and I mean, it's a good way to get out, I guess, if you're in super duper trouble, but you don't really want that to always happen. Just kill them all Romulists. And get shields down finally again. So, at this point, put down the energy pad. I make sure blessing is actually up this time, and then I realize that his gun is in the way, like his gun arm is in the way of his leg. I'm like, Jesus Christ! But I actually get a red crit there on my vectors, which makes me quite happy. And that was mostly because of my cat. So yeah, next time when I do this, I'm actually going to switch out ammo mutation for sure. Like, I like ammo mutation when I'm doing like long runs, because I use the Vectus as a normal weapon in Cetus as well. So what I'll probably do is keep my current build for Vectus, but I'll equip one on my Eidolon loadout so I can just add an extra mod in there for survivability. Just hit a bit harder, because I feel like this Vectus has a ribbon in it with crit damage and crit chance. But I feel like it's still not doing enough damage. I've seen snipers do way more. I know Lanka does more because it's a charge shot. I know Optical does more. Optical's not a sniper, but it hits like a sniper. But I feel like my Vectus can be better than what it is. And maybe I should roll my... I'll probably do some roll attempts on my ribbon, to be honest. I'm gonna wait till I get a stack of Cooper again. Oh yeah, and I just tab out there, so... When you tab out a Warframe, because I was streaming when I was doing this video, the game just goes black, but it's not game breaking, it's just me tabbing out of the game so I can I think I was checking how much time I had left. At this point I had 29 minutes and I was like, oh shit. Okay then, so I realized at this point that I'd have to be faster, so this is where I kind of opt to not use the lures anymore and just go for the kill. I believe I was using Death Snacks for the timer, because Warframe Death Snacks has the timer for Cetus now, which is really useful. So if you don't use that site, it's a really good tracking website for alerts and for like the time on Earth. All that good stuff, really. So I go looking for the Eidolon again. I'm like, shit, I can't find it. Like the one time, like I'm trying to rush to finish this guy off because he's 2 limbs down, and I'm 2 lives down. I'm like, I need to find this guy and beat him, but can't find him. Then I end up backtracking all the way to the coast, and I end up finding him there. Fortunately, the draw distance on Eidolons is pretty good. At least it's good enough to see, like, a good portion of the map, so I didn't have to travel too far. Oh yeah, and this is where he gets stuck in the lake again. So this wasn't the first time this happened. This happened yesterday as well when I was trying this with Kramer. Kramer is a very strong Warframe. Incredibly strong Warframe. Especially with Vex armor. There's so much potential to do so much damage with Kramer. But because he's stuck, I have a little bit of an easier time with him. And because I'm on the arms now, the arms for me are a lot easier to hit, so I just beam his shield down because he can't move. And just kill any Romulus I find. Unfortunately get caught in that sweep there, which is a little bit painful. But it is kind of cute when this happened. I mean, if I had brought Liz, the lizard would have got stuck in that water again probably anyway, so I mean, it's not a huge deal. Maybe next time I can do it. If you're wondering what focus I'm using for my operator, I use Vazarin. I just use Vazarin because Vazarin is something I've always used. It was the first focus I picked. I picked it because I picked it because it was the first one I picked, and I've kept it because it's the first one I picked. I committed to it. So Vazarin is the one I know how to play pretty decently. Vazarin, there's not much to it. You get more health as operator, which is useful here because it means I can take a few more hits, even outside of void mode and stuff like that. So this is where we try and nuke the Eidolon Teralysts, which is a lot easier this time around, just because he isn't really moving. See, it's like arm bolts don't do that much damage, but it's just like his the little thing that you see shoot up in the air and does like a homing bullet attack. That is what really hurts. Also, the Romulus kind of sting too. I've heard reports that they actually deal more damage the weaker the Eidolon gets. I don't know like what phase that is or what limb that is, but it did feel like they were hitting harder to me. And here's where he does his shield thing again. He's done it so far about 3 times, which is a little bit infuriating, but I managed to get rid of it quite quickly there, so it's not a huge deal. So shield's down again. Now we just shoot him again. I'm pressing like F2 here to get my energy pad, which is nice because you can do it even while scoped. You can like hit F2 and you'll get an energy pad even while you're scoped into the sights here. I think this is the point where I'm really keeping an eye on my HP because I realized that we're 2 for 2, both lives and limbs down, so I'm like, I try and play really careful, at least. Unfortunately I end up being so careful I get knocked back, but it does mean I don't get hit by the homing attack there, which is pretty nice, I guess. It worked out. And I'm also spamming, like, blessing non-stop. So he's nearly down here already. And we get the limb. So that was a pretty free one. It was only really free because of the fact that he was staying still. And again here I tab out. Just check how much time I have left, and then I realized that because we're 3 and we've got 3 limbs down, we've got 2 lives left, I realized, okay, maybe we can do this. So I pick up my loot as quick as I can, and then I grab my... Oh, actually, I realize I don't actually get my Aquan at all because I realize that he spawns right behind me. So we're gonna get him again, get his 4th limb this time, and then we'll actually be able to kill him. So, what I do actually want to do next time I do this, because I'm playing with like the lives count so much, is get one of my like arcane sets finished maybe. Arcanes is not. I have a stockpile of arcanes, but I don't really have enough for a single set. So I may invest in a set and get the extra 5th life. Like, I'm not too worried about the bonus, but having a 5th life would actually really help here, I think. Though at the same time, having 4 does make me play a little bit more conservatively. Though I think with my operator, I'm more aggressive because I know I can't die. So I still have to be wary that when my operator dies, there's the potential outcome that as soon as my operator dies, my Trinity is immediately hit and I die instantly. I've had that happen on numerous occasions and in normal missions with in other situations. So in his last phase here, he starts shooting in the air, and it causes this cool meteorite thing. I think it looks amazing. It's a well telegraphed animation too. And even while he's putting this meteor full, I'm like poking out, and I'm trying to shoot him here. Okay, so one other thing I actually didn't bring up, which I probably should have, is when you start to... So, I destroyed an arm limb. The reason why we don't do the arm limbs first is because if you pay very close attention to where his blown up arm is, there's a light beam coming out of it, and that light beam is very, very frequent, and it hurts, and it shoots at a different, like, time frequency to the other homing laser that comes out from the top of them. So he tries to get his shield back again. I think I deal with this fairly quickly. And then it's just getting his shields down a second time. I do this a lot this fight. I didn't do this as much with Chroma the other day, but hopefully next time we fight him we get luckier. So I just, at this point I'm like, okay, we're near the end of the fight now. I'm gonna spam a lot more health and energy pads. So that's what I do. Double check how many health pads I have left. And I'm just shooting his arm now. And I'm just doing the same thing. I'm keeping an eye on my health, and I'm just using Blessing when the shields go down, just so I can Blessing in time. And you'll see very soon here that even though I time Blessing right, because there's so much damage going out, I die anyway. And that's a combination of there being too many Romulists, him having his like arm beam going, and just various other factors. I try and kill these Romulists because they're hitting me so hard. Like, the damage on top of the arm pulse and the overhead homing lasers just really, really hurts. And then he also does his like meteor shower again. So I decided to like just damage him in operator mode because I'm like, okay, I want to still be able to deal damage to him as quickly as possible. I'm running out of time, so I'm just shooting him non-stop. Baby Monster goes down again. I'm like, no, I need my crit still, so I revive Baby Monster. Thankfully, Vazarin does still let me instant revive. I didn't actually go. I'm actually very surprised that Baby Monster didn't die as much as she would have. So I'm very happy about that. Like, I have been in groups where someone has had a crit buff, Kavat Pet, and it just went down every 5 seconds. Even though every single limb was a one-shot on the Eidolon, and the one-shot was mostly thanks to stacking Volt Shields, Opticore, Vex Armor Chroma, and Harrow. So I saw that pet go down like every 5 seconds, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to keep reviving this, like, my Helios keeps blowing up, but I think it's thanks to, in part, to Blessing as well, because I'm healing myself, and I'm also healing my Cavette, so my Cavette isn't dying as much. So he goes into shield regen mode again. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm never... I actually think I'm not gonna complete this somehow. Because he's just, at this point, he's like getting his shields back so often. I'm killing as many Romulus as I can. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy is not gonna die. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to try in like 2 hours. Get his shields down again. I'm like, okay, let's get his arm again. So, set up Blessing, I shoot him in the arm. Got no crit buffs yet. Nearly die there, so I go operator mode. I'm getting hit really, really hard, and he's doing his old animation for his meteor fall. So I try and dodge that. So I'm continually blasting him, even in operator mode, and killing a few Romulists. So he's really trying hard to kill me. I'm also trying really hard to kill him, but baby monster goes down again. Revive baby monster. There's like a million Romulists. I'm like, this guy won't bloody die. I am really... Actually, I called my amp Megalith Cleaver on the night before I decided to do this, in the hope that it would actually kill a Teralyst. Turns out it can. I don't know how viable a strat like this would be on the other Teralysts that they're planning to add. Like, maybe those can only be done with a group. But now we're on 4th phase. Basically, the last phase, you have to stop him regenning. You just kill as many Romulus he calls as possible, and I don't actually know what happens if you fail this stage, so I was really worried in case there were like many Romulus, but lucky for me there were just 2, so I killed both of them. So once the phase is over, he'll get back up again, he'll rise up. The only difference this time now is that he will have a... Yeah, so I die instantly there. I actually don't know how I died instantly. I think it was because I went back to Trinity, and because Blessing wasn't up, it would just happened to be the time I was being aimed at, so I died. So I shoot the shit out of him. At this point, it's like do or die. He's regenerating his shields again, which is really annoying. I get rid of the Romulists. I'm like, fuck you, Eidolon Teralyst. I have 1 life left, and I'm like, okay. I'm just blasting him in operator mode because I couldn't really hit him with Trin at the time, because I've got shields back. I switch back to Trin. I get Blessing up, just so I have the extra armor. I'm just shooting the shit out of him. Because all his limbs are broken now, he has the path of goop, but also he has now like 2 of the projectiles coming out of both arms. You have to watch out for those. That's more damage. Formulists are hitting harder than ever. There's so many of them. He keeps calling more, and it really hurts, and I die again. And this is my last life, and I think to myself, I put down like 1 billion health pads, I still died, I'm gonna probably lose this. So, I tried to take a distanced approach to begin with, and I managed to get a lot of damage out this way. He actually, for whatever reason, he managed to hit Chroma, but because I was on the move while I was shooting, I don't think he actually managed to get me with his homing missiles, so I just kept shooting him on the move. The only problem to this logic is, because he has Romulus around him, he can shield himself anytime he feels like, and you'll see that pretty soon. It gets really unfortunate because he goes down to like a shred of health. I'm ammoing myself like crazy, so I'm down to like 35 ammo on my Vectus Prime. So I just, at this point, I just spammed F3. I wanted this Eidolon dead. He calls more Romulus. I'm like, at this point, he's gonna shield himself, so I'm just preparing for that. And that's it. That's where he gets his shield. So I have to be really careful at this point going in with Trinity, because if I go in with Trinity, I could potentially get nuked instantly. So it's like, what do? Like, I can't travel across the plains very quickly with Trinity, with Operator, so I go Trinity. But when you're using Trinity and you've got no lives left, it's a huge risk because you can just die. Also, being so suddenly close to the Eidolon with Trinity is very dangerous at this point. So it's like, kind of do or die. If I'd have died here, I would have honestly been very disappointed because he has literally no health left. He just has shield. He hits very hard, but he hasn't got much life in him, so. So I'm trying to kill the Romulus at the same time, again, because I want to kind of make the zone as safe as possible to finish him off. And I'm also realizing at this point I probably don't have much time left to kill him either, so I'm just trying to beam him down as fast as I can. My middle mouse wheel probably hates me after this mission, but I did what I gotta. I was even beaming through the meteor pool, so it was very dangerous to actually die there as a Trin. So I go back in with Trin, being really careful not to get beamed out of the sky. I'll just keep blasting him more, because why not? So this was about 30 health pads, I think. I think I went through all of them by the end of it. I probably didn't need to use as many as I did, but I ended up using them just because I wanted to make sure I could make it through. This was my first attempt at trying to kill the Eidolon, so I wanted to make sure I had some sustainability, and like, I knew that I wouldn't be able to always rely on Blessing, especially in the situations we've seen in this video so far to this point. So they ended up being integral. I feel like a run like this could be done maybe with Oberon, but you would have a lot of problem with armor. Its Blessing gives 75% damage reduction. So he loses his shield again. I decide to fly up this time and shoot the shit out of him. I think, yeah, he immediately goes into shield mode again, and this makes me really mad. I'm like, are you kidding? I just got rid of his shield and now I have to do it again. This is a point where I'm kind of defeated, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run out of time now. Or he's gonna just kill me. But I managed to like get a number of Romulus down in one go. So that was pretty good. But I've kind of lost count how many times he's done that now. Like, I don't know if that's something he does automatically when you go into Arcwing as like a means to not cheese. I think it was for the best I didn't stick with Arcwing anyway, because I feel like that would have probably killed me and cost the entire mission, so in the end I didn't bother. From the last bit here. He gets vulnerable again. I decide to not revive Baby Monster. I decide, okay, I'm actually gonna kill him now. I accidentally switched to Gust of Wind Dance. And I decide that being so close to him is a really bad idea, so I back off a little bit. I decide to just not res Baby Monster at this point and just hope that I can kill him without the odds of crit buffs. I don't actually know if odds of crit buffs stack, someone will have to tell me. But yeah, that's it. The Eidolon is dead. So that was the first time I ever killed an Eidolon. And that was a pretty cool fight. I had to, at this point though, make sure that because I had no lives left, I had to make sure that the Romulus actually weren't the ones to kill me and fail the mission, because that could have happened. That would have been pretty bad. So yeah, I just finish him off. I don't really quite do a victory dance yet, I just heal myself because I'm like, oh god. But yeah, the adrenaline in that fight was very real. And pretty happy that it went as well as it did. I'll just pick up on my intact cores. I have quite a number at this point. But yeah, I thought this run was very fun. It's not an efficient way to get the materials you need for focus and all those things, but I mean, it's a challenge, and it's something I really enjoyed doing. I had a lot of fun doing it, and definitely give it a go if you need something to challenge you in the game, because it's possible to do. There's a couple of people who have done it already, and yeah. So that's me done. I usually stream to Twitch. This is a video made for YouTube. You can follow me on Heroin Dragon's Prophet, which is Twitch TV /HeroinDP. So you can follow me on there. I'm pretty close to 400 followers now, which getting 400 would be pretty awesome. So be pretty awesome if you could catch all my stuff. And so that'll be me. That'll be me done. You can see my pretty purple trinity here, and hopefully you give this a try. It's a really fun challenge, and I'm pretty sure that you'll enjoy it too. So good luck with it. That's my Megalist Cleaver. What a good run. I'm so proud of it.